You know that feeling when your gut won't shut up? Not the eat lunch kind, more like your conscience wired to an air raid siren. Mine had been blaring for months. I just drowned it out with wedding invoices, almost ivory napkins, and the Whitmore family's obsession with perfection. I'm Adrian. I was marrying into old money, the Whitmores, who plan weddings like military campaigns. Geneva curated the flowers like museum pieces. Harold shook hands with every donor in a 50-mile radius. I signed checks, smiled, nodded, and kept pretending trust was stronger than suspicion. Then Rafi, my day one friend, became indispensable. Inside jokes with my fiancée, Sloane. Secretive texts, long errands. I told myself it was normal. It wasn't. The rehearsal Wentworth Country Estate looked like a coronation with an open bar. My parents stood proud and out of place. The Whitmores floated like minor royalty. During the AV walkthrough, the tech, Tio, said, "Give me a signal and I can cue anything." I didn't know then how useful that would be. Around 9:30, Sloane needed air. 10 minutes later, Rafi vanished too. Transportation logistics. They returned separately, smiles too smooth. I swallowed the dread and went home. The post. That gave everything away wedding day. 11 a.m., coffee, shaking hands. Sloane's Instagram story flashed, then disappeared. Hotel carpet, brass trim, a partial door number, 11-something. Rafi handled the hotel blocks. Boutique place downtown, the 11th floor. My gut stopped whispering and started ordering. I drove. There. Room 11-19's door didn't latch. I nudged it open. Sloane, Rafi, and Julian, her college ex, a pretzel of betrayal. No ambiguity, no explanations. I didn't shout. I filmed 30 seconds. Faces, voices, bedside clock, timestamp. Rafi chuckled. He'll never guess. Adrian's too trusting. Sloane laughed like I hadn't heard in months. I left with proof. 3 hours to go. Time to plan. The plan I sat in a diner and wrote it on a napkin. Calm, surgical, legal. Venue final payment, my card. Contract clause put last-minute upgrades on the Whitmores. Shuttles for guests, my account. Same-day cancellation allowed. AV system. Teo can play anything on Signal. Honeymoon. All in my name. Transferable. Joint account. Infidelity clause freezes funds with proof. Insurance. Beneficiary reverts to contingents if the ceremony never happens. I queued emails to vendors, set alerts on the bank, and texted my cousin to keep an eye on my parents. Then I put on my suit. If I was going to end a fairy tale, I'd do it clean. There won't be a ceremony today. The ballroom glittered. 300 guests settled. I stood on the mezzanine. Good afternoon, thank you for being here. Beat. There won't be a ceremony today. Silence. I signaled Teo. The screen lit up. Room 1119. Laughter, voices, timestamp, gasps, phones, chaos. Sloane stormed in, radiant in $10,000 of white silk. Turn that off. You're not supposed to see the bride before the ceremony. There is no bride, I said. Not to me. Then I made my calls. Venue. Execute Section 12. Whitmore addendums own the upgrades. Cancel my authorization. Shuttles. Primary account holder cancels. Return to depot. Honeymoon. Transfer everything to my parents, Louise and Mara. Ocean View upgrade. Bank. Activate infidelity clause. Freeze the joint account. Insurance. Ceremony didn't occur. Beneficiaries revert. I emailed the florist, photographer, and caterer. Please direct all invoices to the Whitmores per signed addendums. Harold had insisted on co-signing everything. Now he owned everything, penalties included. On the mezzanine, Sloane tried righteous indignation, then tears. Harold demanded a private conversation. Geneva begged for civility. Check. Your contracts, I said. This is calm, legal, and documented. I left them with the bill and walked out. The morning after at 8 a.m., the Whitmores came to my apartment, Harold with a calculator, Geneva with a portfolio, Sloane in designer athleisure. Compensation, Harold announced. We're out at least. 50,000. Consequences, I said, laying out copies of every contract. His signature was on all the upgrades. My withdrawal shifted obligations to him. Sloan tried the "we loved each other" speech. I loved us, I said. You loved attention. I handed over her boxed belongings, itemized, labeled, and helped carry them to the car. Polite too. The end. This isn't over, Harold said. We have lawyers. Lawyers are expensive, I said. How much money after yesterday? They didn't answer. 6 months later. The internet moved on. Some called me cruel. Others called me brave. I called it documented. Harold's legal threats died when his attorneys read what he'd signed. Vendor Scuttlebutt pegged their fallout, north of $75K. My parents took the Greece honeymoon and came back younger. I paid them back anyway. Rafi skipped town, Julian disappeared. Sloan posted about growth and forgiveness. I saved the screenshots and blocked her everywhere. At work, my boss put me on a quiet infrastructure project. Problems with clear parameters, truth compiled without errors. One Sunday in my mom's garden, she asked, "Will you trust again?" Not the same way, I said. Better, smarter, with standards. Here's what I learned. Listen to your gut the first time. Paperwork beats drama. Put the damage back where it belongs. She yelled superstition. I answered with consequences. She staged a spectacle. I sent the invoice. Between the screen going black and my door clicking shut, I found something I didn't know I'd lost. Peace with my own judgment. And yes, I kept the receipt.